Was it difficult for you in the beginning?
No, it's amazing that I think when the time is just right, things fall into place, like unbelievably. Because they put me on the afternoon drive with someone called Pascal. And everyone says, oh, co-hosting is just like the hardest thing, finding that chemistry and gelling with a stranger and all that. But it was the most beautiful arrangement. Yeah, he helped me fall in love with this music. He would practically, he also, I think, is so passionate about the music. Like, he would sit with me and tell me stories about the artists and show me videos and tell me this one is like this and this one is like yeah. So it was easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How long were you with Bob?
I was at Bob from I think 2011 to about 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did your 4 years there. How did you move on?
I just felt, I think, like I needed to experience something else, to challenge myself outside of that environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you go from Bob to Radio 1 or?
No, there was Touch FM.
Oh,
In
okay.
between, yeah. There was a bit of Touch FM. I think they were also doing like a rebrand or restructuring something.
So you moved to Touch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved to Touch. It wasn't what I thought it would be.
In what way?
The it just wasn't what. Yeah, it didn't work out. The whole restructuring didn't work out. I mean, do you still hear Touch FM on air?
Did they overpromise?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
That happens a lot of times. But a lot of people have been through that.
That's true.
You move because the promises and it sounds great, and then the reality is very different.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
So, fortunately, Bob and Spirit FM, I mean, we're like home. So I moved back for a bit.
So you're able to come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved back for a bit, and then it's from Bob that now I joined Radio 1 in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know that back in the day, I mean, radio would pay okay, but you had twins. You had 2 children to raise. I mean, if you're single and just kind of doing your thing, that's fine. But how were you, like, were you fine, comfortable? Finances were being, boosted by your parents. How was that working for you?
Yeah, I definitely did get a boost every now and then, but it also wasn't so expensive as it is now. Yeah, so I was able to make ends meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to.
All right. So tell me how you got to Radio 1, because you've been with Radio 1 for quite some time,
This
right?
is my 4th year now.
4th,
Yeah.
okay.
I joined 2017. So after I figured, well, I still want more, because I left Bob because I wanted more. So in as much as I'm back because this didn't work out, the hunger is still there for something else. But also, it was time to start my business. Like, I always wanted to have an extra income, because like you just pointed out, the money, there's no one that's ever going to pay you enough. Yeah. So I needed to do something else to supplement my income. And we have all these extra hours. I mean, you're only on air for how many? 3-4 hours? What are you doing with the rest of the day? Yeah. So I needed to start that up.
Okay.
And
So the boutique had just been for a short time.
Yeah.
And that ended?
Yeah, that had
Okay.
ended, yeah. So with what I wanted to do, and having figured out that now it's going to be with pastries and baking, I also needed location. I was living on the Rubaga side of town. I figured I needed to move back to the Nalian, Tinda, Chiwatule side of town for this to be able, for the kind of market I think I was targeting. I
So
figured
did
I
you
needed
already
to be
have
on
your
this
business
side of
open?
town. No, not yet. I had started, like baking for colleagues to, sample, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Yeah. And see, just testing it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I needed to get it off the ground now, seriously. And the show I was doing was, what was this thing? Was I doing the breakfast? I think I was
You
doing
were
the
doing the breakfast at some point, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. And when you're doing like snacks, pastries, you need to get them out early in the
Yeah.
morning. Like the time just wasn't working out. I wasn't going to be able to get these products out and be able to be on my show because it's just me and the stud. I don't have workers, I don't have anything. Yeah. So it wasn't working out. It just wasn't going to work out. Yeah. So I needed to figure that out. I think I did not want to leave radio. Yeah. So I'm opting for a weekend show, not to be completely out of radio.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you let the weekly show go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the perfect transition was because I'm moving to this side of town also. And while I'm figuring that out, the Radio 1 situation worked out so that I'm able to come and start up my business here and do my once a week show. And yeah.
Okay, so in that movement, you took up a weekend show, and then you're able to focus on your business
Yeah.
during the week.
Yeah.
Okay. How was that for you?
It was hard. It really was.
It was?
It was hard. I mean, having no idea what you're doing. Yeah. But you have to do this. So I figured things out on the ground, mostly, I should say. But then again, not being a person to sit in one place for hours to wait for customers to come, and I mean,
How did you market your pastries?
No, that happened with social media.
Okay.
Yeah. After I had the shop for I think about a year, and then I figured, no, this is not it right now. Employees are not easy, and for me, just having to sit there, because when you're not there, somehow things just don't work out. The people are not as passionate as you are about your thing. And remember, I'm just starting out. I also need to be there and understand what works, what doesn't work, what sells, what doesn't. Yeah, but I did not enjoy having to sit there all the time. So I figured anyway, eventually, that it's cakes that were the hot cake. Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you move more
And
into
so-
cakes.
Yes, and so I could close the shop and just bake from home, do my marketing online, word of mouth, family, friends, bake from home, and then deliver.
Okay. So that was Bella's Street.
Yes.
Is Bella's Street.
Is Bella's Street.
Okay. So are you still using the same kind of model now, or again, you've taken on some employees and then
No,
premises?
maybe my kids. Yeah. Now they help me out, yeah, and they get paid.
Ah, you pay them?
Yes.
She's
Crystal.
spoiling these children.
No, they have
Don't
to
they
earn.
know that you are feeding them?
They have to earn their pocket money. They're not going to be asking me for airtime and money to do this. And I mean, my daughter is now doing nails and hair and what? So
That's a good point.
earn your money.
You have to teach them early. Yeah, but the old-fashioned, you must work to be in this house.
You have to. You have to.
Okay, all right. So you figured out that it was cakes that really work. It's interesting how I've had bakers on the show recently. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the hardest things I think for people is normally like doing all the different kinds of designs, because a client will come in and show you a picture or something they get off the internet and say, I want you to make this. So how do you handle that?
The challenges are good because that's how you grow, by being stretched. So I actually love taking on a challenge.
Okay.
So yes, it's hours and hours of YouTube, but the baking community is also really helpful.
Because you're mostly self-taught, right? You never
Yes.
went and did an actual course or...
No, I did a little bit, and I've gone for many of the more established bakers will organize like a 2-day workshop on this, a 2-day intensive training on this. So every now and then I also go and polish up
Okay.
on what I've learned. But if you don't know how to do something, I'm telling you, on this forum, you ask for help, there's so many people willing to help. So it's amazing. It's a good thing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Anything, like don't chase an order. Any baker out there, we've learned that people are willing to help you. Yeah. So even if you look like it looks really tough, you put it on the forum and say, guys, how do I start going about this? And people will jump in and
That's
show
nice. You
the
don't find that
ropes.
in every field.
That's
or-
true.
Mm.
That's true.
Oh, that's really nice. You mentioned that you had your twins at home. Was their father in the picture?
For a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, no?
No.
Okay. Is that something that your kids have ever asked you about?
Of course. Of course.
Because I think those are
We've
very
had the
hard questions. Huh?
conversations, yes. But I was ready for them. I mean, they do not choose this life. Whatever happens between the adults it's our. I mean, it has nothing to do with the children. So we just owe them as honest an explanation as you can give them, depending on what age they are. And now mine are grown, so we've had the tough conversations. We've had the
Because you said now it's a matter of sitting down and
Yeah.
you have the back and forth.
Yeah.
Previously on Crystal One-on-One.
But you have to find a way of motivating your staff so they stick with you. Yeah, because it can be very bad when you've trained people and then they are leaving to work for someone else. who
And they're
did
taking
not
those
invest,
skills.
You know, yeah. I think generally that's it. Oh, the traffic jam in Kampala.
True.
Yeah, but there's always a solution somehow. Yeah, we've opened several outlets.
Yeah.
5 of them now.
5.
Yes, at
Okay.
different locations in the.
So does that mean you're in a
But-
relationship now?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
But I haven't met somebody that is all that. I'm all that.
I love it.
All that. But you know, being grown, you become more, not only more self-aware, but more also aware of what exactly it is you want. And that at my age,
You're not
I'm
willing to compromise.
at all. Like at all, yeah. You've got to be up here. You've got to also, yeah. There's many people out there, but those that are up here, I'm still waiting to meet one.
Okay.
I believe in love, though. I'm a lover, so I believe it will work when it's supposed to work out. Yeah,
Okay.
it will happen when it's supposed to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is it also because maybe it's not a priority in your life? It's busy?
It used not to be.
Okay.
Yeah, it used because I had the twins, you know, and I had them young, and now we're growing up together, and it was sweet, and our life was good. So I just didn't think I needed that stress.
That's the one. The stress.
Yeah, it's work. Crystal, relationships are work.
Yeah.
A whole other adult. I mean, your own siblings can get on your last nerve.
A whole other adult.
Yes, that you met as an adult. I mean, this is not your child. Yeah, some people are lucky that they end up with their childhood friends and things like that. But majority of the time, it's this other person that was raised by his own parents.
It's completely different.
Exactly. And now you two are here saying, "Till death do us apart." It's work.
So you're a
Work.
bit
You have
like,
to be ready for it. Yeah, you have to be. I believe in the old school values. If I got into it, Crystal, it's for life. It's not something I would enter into lightly. So I even told my parents, parents, and me being the girl, that this would be their wedding. So it's something. And I tell my mom, Bambi, don't pray for me. And yeah, like please don't. It's my life. Like leave me when I want it. I will. Yeah, but at the right time.
But you said something very important about values. You need to find someone who has the same values as you do. Because that's so important at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So now your days are mostly radio, and then you also have your business and everything. Is there anything else like you feel like you want to do, you want to jump into?
So much, but the timing.
Did any other part of media ever call to you, like TV?
TV, yeah. Yeah.
Tell me.
But time is not here. I think it's just the timing. I've wanted to. A couple of friends have also approached me to
You
do
see
things.
yourself?
Yeah. If everything falls in place, why not? Yeah.
Okay. Now, growing up, you said something that you grew up with your twins, like you grew up together almost, and because you had them really, really young. So I guess that means they're like really friends as well, because I think that's a challenge now when we talk about parenting. From the way we were brought up by our parents, now it's like your kids need to be able to talk to you so you know what's happening in their lives. You need to be friends with them.
That's
But it's also a very difficult balance sometimes. How have you handled that?
It's God. I think it's just God, and also just being real. The times for real are different. So I think from a young age, we've talked, we've had the conversations. When there's plenty, they know we have plenty. When times are lean, they know. Like, we frankly have these conversations. And not those cases where you don't even know how much money your mother earns, or no, my kids know. Yeah. The good things, the bad things, the everything in between, they know. They've known. So I think for me, it has never ever had to, like, out of the blue, now I need to have a conversation. I'm their mom. Trust me. But I try to also just be approachable and friendly. I want these lines of communication to always be open, no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look back, do you have any regrets?
I wouldn't say. Like, everything has worked out for this moment that I'm in now. I don't think I'd change anything. It's been worth the ride. Krista, I'm the youngest. I was the baby. When I had the kids, I remember, like, my aunties would come and say, oh, the baby has had babies. I don't think I'd have grown up. Like, grow up and be a responsible woman without the children. They challenge you. I think God has his reasons why he makes these little chubby human beings that are so adorable that you literally give your life for. And they straighten you out. There's probably things I never would have done for myself, but because those 4 eyes are looking at me, I know I can't fail. I know I have to up my game. I know I have to get myself in order, because it's not just about me. And I wouldn't even do it because, my parents, no. But those two, their opinion, I think, about me is everything.
You've talked about, like, standards. You have standards. And then if we even just look at your journey, the fact that you could tell your dad at that age that this is not working for me, I'm sorry, I can't do it. It sounds like you're the person who, when something is not working, it's not working. You'll speak up for yourself.
Yeah.
Does that also translate at work and other areas of your life?
I think it does, but politely. I think it's also something that people don't. I think people are used to, if somebody puts their foot down, they put their foot down in this way. I'm not that person. But if I say no, it's no. I'm not saying no.
That nicely.
Yeah, but I totally mean it, and you're not going to change my mind. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what are the things that you've learned about life? Because some people, I think we're learning more. I mean, you don't have to have all the answers at a young age.
That's
but
true.
Sometimes when we, when you see things, especially social media and this pressure, you must know where you're going with your life. You must have a plan and everything. Like, what have you learned about life in general?
That you don't have to have you have to have, I think, an idea. I think we all have an idea of what we want to be, where we want to go. You may not have figured out the how. Like, I was never those people with a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan. And like I said, I honestly just knew I wanted to be happy. I don't care what he was doing. Driving a truck, if that's what makes me happy, Crystal, I'm going to drive that truck. If playing drums is what makes me happy, I think that's something probably the Western world has figured out, especially when it comes to their children, supporting their dreams. Like, I don't care what your child says they want to be. They have found a way to make it work for the child to enjoy their gifting, their talent, their ability, but also be able to spin that into coin. Well, for us, maybe I think our generation is a bit different, because many of us, I think of that generation that our parents took a while not understanding. So our not being understood for a long time, I think has helped us be more open-minded when it comes to our kids. When they say, my son wants to play soccer, and I'm all for it. In as much as I'll tell him you'll need a backup plan, because what if that doesn't work out? I mean, look at COVID-19 now. Who knows when this is going to be out and people will be able to gather again and enjoy these matches and things like that. So have a backup plan, but I'm not going to tell him, no, you can't play soccer because
That can't work for you.
you can't do music, or you can't dance if that's what you want to do,
Okay. So you try to be very supportive.
Yeah, and to just know that, listen to these people. You may not, maybe your initial reaction is, but listen and find out why are they thinking the way they're thinking. Why does this person want to do what they want to do? And then walk from, at least you've heard them out, you've understood where they're coming from, then see how you can guide them, because maybe you're older, you're wiser, probably know the realities of life more. So help guide them to see that, yes, you want to do this, but all these things might happen. What's your backup? Can we have a backup, or 2 or 3 or 4 backups? Yeah.
It can't just be the one thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what COVID has really taught us.